Wow, good evening, everybody. I have missed you guys so much. We are back with another episode of the Sip and Chat. It's your girl Menina here, and I've missed you. I haven't seen you guys since like right before Thanksgiving. November was amazing. We had some really great guests in November. We had the Legacy BookBar Book Summit. We had Malachi, who talked about his fantasy book and how his book is character is going to turn into an action figure soon. So we had a lot. So I said, well, December, we're going to end the year. We have to end the year on a good note. And why not bring Miss Brandi Pyburn-Smith in to start off December? So, hey, darling, how are you?
Hello. Blessings, greetings to everyone. I am well. How are you?
Miss you guys. Just trying to survive. Trying to survive, shorty. It's out here is these COVID streets ain't playing with folks out here, and it's been a little nutso out here. Of course, we just had another celebrity death. I think we had 2 this week now. So
yeah, it's
hitting. It is crazy. And they were so young. Of course, everyone knows we're talking about Tiny Lister, aka Debo. God, if I'm drawing a blank, Natalie DeSalle. Everyone knows her from Babs and the Black version of Cinderella, and of course Eve. And and they were so young, but they played some pivotal characters that that our age bracket, our age generation, they were pivotal for us. They played some key roles, and they'll be missed.
They will.
I just say, and the way 2020 is going and way it could possibly end, just hug your loved ones, because you absolutely will never know when it's that person's time. So just hug them. That's all you really can do, unfortunately.
Yes, sir. It's rough. It's rough. It's definitely rough. I've lost loved ones during this pandemic. I've been home since the end of March. I've had surgeries, and this week has been trouble for me. Like, I'm literally getting over the flu, and just, man, being pulled and pushed in every direction. And it's like you steady getting hit with one thing after the next. And it's like, man, I just want to come up for air, just a little bit of air and breathe, because I am having the hardest time just soaking all of everything that has happened in 2020 in. Like, Jesus, it's a lot. I think you muted.
I would mute myself and then start talking. That's what I do, right? Anyway, but we're here. We're smiling.
Yes.
That's all we can say, right? And just wake up the next day, do it all over again.
Oh, God. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I had an amazing night last night. I did a virtual party last night with Sunkissed Craft. She doesn't know. I just gave her a shout out. I'm sure she'll either watch the feed live or she'll watch it in replay. But she does these amazing crafts by hand. Good friend of mine. I've probably known her going on 18 years. So she did this thing called Bottles and Bowls. So you signed up, and she mailed you this box, and inside it was 2 little bottles of wine, a wine glass, and your ribbon to make your own bowls. It was so much fun. And I got my glass. Me and my mom, we were on the Zoom together, and we opened up our boxes because, of course, we opened them up 5 minutes before the Zoom was there. I mean, we opened it up because we knew our stuff was in there, but then like going through the whole box to see what it was. And come to find out, she had etched our name into our glasses. We were just like, wait a minute, Sun-Kissed Crafts, I have your glass at the sip and chat with my name on it. And I want to tell everyone, if you haven't started following, make sure you do to get those personalized gifts right before the holidays. And if not the holidays, maybe just something nice for yourself or a birthday present in the coming months, starting 2021. It is always something. You always want to give someone a nice gift. And I always say, well, if you're going to give somebody a nice gift and you're going to spend the money, why not have it where it's somebody handmade it for you, specifically for that person in mind? And I just think that just makes the gift so much better when you realize that it's a handmade gift. So anybody, go to my page or go to Sun-Kissed Crafts, follow Anitra Woods and her wreaths and her, I'm going to pronounce the word wrong, but I think it's cheese boards that you can cut. It's super cute. And the wine glasses and the beer mugs, like it's just amazing. And I bring all that up to say, because of 2020, we've had to do things differently, where something like that would have been in person. It would have been a lot of us in a room together. And we would have had a ball. But now, of course, you have to do everything virtual, and being creative and coming outside of the box has been the mantra, I want to say, for 2020. Now, all of us were spread out yesterday, but it was about 12 to 15 of us, and we still had a great time.
Wow.
We still had fun. We still had the music playing. Everyone had their wine glasses, and we were still cutting up, cracking jokes. And I'm like, this is just how we're going to maintain our sanity. I know we're probably all zoomed out at the moment, but if that's the only way to keep your good friends or your family members out through these Zooms and find some virtual games and some sipping paints and some family feuds or just something creative, this is what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, probably for the next. It's just
it sucks, but it's the reality that we're faced with right now. So
absolutely,
gotta make the best of it the best way you know how.
Absolutely. So for those that are watching this feed and then sharing the feed, small businesses matter. It doesn't matter what they do, what city, what state. Small business matters. And now is the key time to help those small businesses stay in business. And then that's what brought you here today, because that's exactly what Legacy BookBar is. Legacy BookBar, for those that do not know, and is probably like friends or family of our guest today, you're like, who is interviewing her? What is going on here? So I'll tell you. Legacy BookBar is owned by myself, and it is an online bookstore that caters to Black self-published authors in all genres. We're not exclusive to self-published, but that is our niche, because we know there is a need for self-published authors, and we want to make sure that any authors, especially our self-published authors, have a home somewhere in our bookstore on a shelf. So that was me taking my passion of reading and turning it into legacy. So today I have Brandi Pyburn-Smith, and surprisingly, we don't even live in the same state. We don't have the same circle of friends.
Nothing in common.
We found each other literally by happenstance on Facebook, on another live radio show.
Exactly. Oh man.
On Facebook.
And it's so funny, because when I talk about you, people ask me, they like, how did you even come into contact with her? And I was like, I was being nosy on somebody else's life.
Yes.
Being nosy. I was just scrolling through Facebook one day, and all I heard was Legacy BookBar. And I was like, what is a Legacy BookBar? I said, and I stopped, and I got caught up, and she was like, talking about authors and self-publishing. And I'm like, oh. Well, let me stay here and figure out what's going on. I chimed in, and the next day we connected, and we've been connected ever since. I said it's just it was meant to happen, you know.
Absolutely.
It's like one of those weird kind of relationships. I said it's funny when I tell people like my book is in Maryland, and they're like, huh? I'm like, right. Never been to Maryland. Like, I don't even know what Maryland looks like, but I'm like, yeah, my book is in Maryland. Like, yeah, you got to go to this website and you got to check my book out. You know, and it's funny because you just never know who you're going to meet. You know, you never know how the chemistry is going to connect once you meet. But, I mean, we've been rocking, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and oh my gosh. So I tell anybody, especially if you have your business, and everyone knows that social media drives your business, especially right now. In 2020, the whole black business movement is really being pushed heavily through social media. I tell anybody, respond to your DMs, because you never know where it's that one client or that one customer that is gonna blow your mind. So, and back to when the radio show episode that Brandi saw, that was back in, I want to say, early part of March, either late February or early part of March. Yeah. And no lie, less than 24 hours, I went back to that episode. I found her name because she commented in the radio show. I went back. I sent her a DM. I was like, hey. But of course, I'm not on my business page. I'm on my personal. I was like, I'm the guest that was on the radio show last night. You want to talk? I'm available. And legit, at my 9 to 5, I'm like, can someone answer the phone real quick? I take this 30-minute call really quick. And, you know, I'm doing the whole spiel, like, you're going to come on board and I'm going to do A, B, and C. And she's like, bet. So where do I sign? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I still have other stuff to say to try to sell it. She's like, no, I'm good. And then on top of that, I want you to come here. And I'm like, so what? I'm trying to get her book in the store. So we done flipped it to, now I want you to come speak at my women's conference. And I'm like,
yeah, literally.
So when I tell you, respond to DMs, do not be afraid to send DMs, because you will be surprised the blessing that can come out of a person's response to your DM. I'm gonna tell anybody that.
You never know.
You never know. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I brought you here because we're gonna talk about you.
All right.
We're gonna talk about your fabulous book here, darling. I have it with me. Yes. And for those that have not purchased her book, never fear. I have it in stock. You can get it today. The website is scrolling at the bottom of our video, and I'm going to put the shop code in the link. If you get it today, you get 10% off. Christmas sale. So yes. So make sure you use those shop codes. Get your 10% off. You're going to want to give this book to yourself, a sister, a neighbor, or anything. When you hear about the trials, the tribulations, and the blessings that have come from her writing this book, you are going to want to get this. So stay tuned while we continue to talk to Miss Brandi. So tell us. I know this writing journey for you has been extensive. So tell us about it.
Woo, listen. You know what's funny? People have a tendency to try to figure out, how did I even become an author, right? This was not a gift that I prayed for. It was that I asked for. Like, I went through trials and tribulations in my life. And it started, you know, at the age of 6. Losing my grandmother on Christmas Day. going through life, encountering things. But what really cultivated the writing was losing my parents. When I lost my mom, and a year and 3 months later, I lost my dad. At the age of 24, my mind is gone. Like, my world is rocked. I have siblings, but I'm not close to them. Have family, but I don't have a relationship with them. I'm trying to find my niche. I'm trying to get my hands involved in everything. And the only thing that's speaking to my spirit is write. Just write. I don't know what I'm writing. I don't know why I'm writing it. I'm just writing. I have journals, and I mean literally like in a box with just pain, depression, hurt, misery, guilt, whatever. But it wasn't until 2018 God gave me a revelation. I had just got married January 1st, and February I got sick. Went to the hospital, and then I'm finding out I have to go back into surgery. And I'm like, wait, what's happening? My life is not supposed to be like this. Like I'm I'm coming out of some stuff. I'm getting myself together. What's happening? And when I come out of surgery, I was out that night or day or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but whenever I woke up, I remember the doctor asking me, did your husband tell you what happened? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And he said, we almost lost you. And to hear that for the third time, I said, wait a minute. God, you have a purpose for me. But now I got to figure out what that purpose is. So while I got home and, I'm recovering, I'm laying in bed one day and I'm like, man, my life sucks. Like, I'm not happy. I work, raising my kids. I'm not happy though. And it was then he spoke to me and he said, you're about to become one of the greatest authors. And I was like, who? And he said, you, messenger. And I'm like, nah. I said, this got to be the medicine. I'm tripping because I know ain't nobody talking to me. Me? No. I'm okay with being simple and, just chilling. Like, I don't have to be anybody in the forefront. I don't need a title. I'm cool. He said, no. He said, I've had something over your life before you even entered the womb. You have a calling. You have a gift. He said, and it's going to be through your writing that your ministry is going to heal millions of women. And I was like, huh? That don't me? Why me? And he said, why not you? With everything that you've been through in your life, why not you? Why wouldn't I use someone like you? And so that's how my writing began. He said, it's not where you start, it's how you finish. I just need for you to get a pen and a pad, and I need for you to write. And I wrote.
I love it.
And I wrote. And it was through my writing that I actually, I'm going to say I got delivered through my depression. Because as I would write, he would allow me to go back and read what I wrote. In every chapter that I wrote, he said, if you overcame this, then you can overcome this. And if you overcome this, then you can overcome this. And before I knew it, I had a whole book. And I'm like, my God, what happened? What just literally happened? And I'm telling myself, man, nobody's gonna read this book. Nobody wants to hear this. Everybody's so used to the crazy Brandi, the wild and out Brandi, the go off on you type Brandi. They don't want to see this wholesome woman of God. They don't want to hear this healing that I have. And he said, yes, they do. He said, because people are looking at you and you don't even know what they see. And I'm like, well, what do they see? I see me, but what do they see? And he said, they see healing. He said, and it's through your book, the steps, the chapters, the words, the guidance, the scriptures that you're going to help them heal too. And I'm like, man. And Menina, I'm telling you, like, when the first set of books went out, I was like giving them out. Like, I don't even need your money. Like, here, just take this book. Just take it and just tell me what you think about it. Cause I'm excited. Like, I'm like, what is this I'm carrying? This is not normal, right? Like, this is different for me. And to hear the feedback from people saying, man, Brandi, your book inspires me. Like, I keep this book with me. Like, this is my to-go-to. Like, I felt like you were talking about me in the book, but this is you. And I'm saying to myself, how many people have walked this life that I've lived? How many people can actually relate to the pain that I've endured? And God said, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Can I tell you that my book has touched places that my feet have never even entered into? I'm all over the world. People have my book. They're on Amazon. They're coming to Legacy BookBar. They're trying to figure out, how do I get this book? How do I get this book? And it's such a blessing because as a first-time author, I've had the pleasure of ordering my book 5 times. 5 times.
I love it. I'm so proud of you for that, though.
Yes.
It is amazing.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Listen, I try to tell people, if it's in you to be a writer, write.
Mm-hmm.
Just write. You don't have to have an order. You don't have to have an agenda. Just write.
And you are one of many authors, ones that came before you on the Sip and Chat, that have literally said the same thing. Just write it. Just whatever you feel, just put the thoughts on the paper. That's why they have editors. They'll clean it up for you, but they can't clean up what you don't write. So go ahead and write the story. Yep. So many authors, especially our self-published ones, have all said the same thing. So write it. And that's not to say write it so Legacy can sell your book. If that's what you want to do, well, we're definitely here for you.
That part.
But get that feeling of accomplishment, that weight, the joy, the pain, get it all out and get it on paper. So many people have asked, Menina, are you going to write a story? Not at all. That ain't even, it's not my ministry. That's not even my lane. That's not my road. That is not my highway.
Yeah.
That ain't me.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm here for those that can brave the journey of writing. I am here for them. And that's what I'm here for. And I'm totally okay with that. And I love that journey of finding new authors for myself as a fan of reading. And then as a bookstore owner, getting that new author that's like, oh my gosh, I just saw your video feed and my book is on your shelf. Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, I want you to feel that way. I want you to see the picture of that customer that purchased your book. I want you to see that. And I just get so much joy out of it. So tell us about the title. The mess that gifted the messenger.
So listen, let me tell you about this title because it's so funny. So the mess that gifted the messenger, y'all. I cannot make this up. The mess was my life. Like my
Mm.
life was a complete, total mess. Looking at me, you never would have thought that, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you'd have thought I was this little bougie, stuck up all girl, just had it made. I created a disaster with my life. And I mean, literally, it took God sending some heavy anointing down to get me together
Mm.
because I was all over the place, like in and out of church, relationships,
Mm.
friendships, just I'm an overthinker. I want to do so much, right? But I'm only one person.
Mm.
But in my head, I'm like 20 people running around in this one little body, and I'm trying to do so much stuff. And God's like, listen, beloved, we got to get you together. We got to we, I, come together. Come here, and let me put you back together like you should be. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is for the title, The Mess That Gifted the Messenger Came. So the
Okay.
messenger actually came from my photographer,
Hmm.
the gentleman that made the photo cover for my book,
Okay.
Mr. Otis Claiborne the second. Hey,
Okay.
um, we actually had our first photo shoot together. And he was just like, man, you are like a natural at this in front of the camera. Like he was like, I'm just
Mm.
flashing. I'm snapping and you're going. Like, I don't have to tell you what to do. Like, he was like, man, you're gifted with something. And I don't know what it is that you're carrying, but man, I want to be a part of it. Like, I want to be able to pour into you because I see God getting ready to take you on a whole nother platform. And I'm
Mm.
like, really? You serious? And he was like, yeah, gifted. He said, you're gifted. And he kept speaking it. He kept speaking it into me.
Mm.
And then God said, the mess that gifted the messenger. And it just all came together. And I'm like, oh my God, is that the title of my book? And he said, yeah, that's it. He said, because what I want people to understand is that I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be willing.
Mm.
He said, and if you're willing to get into a place where I can use you,
Mm.
I'm going to develop you and I'm going to walk with you so that I can strengthen you on the path that I have for you. And I'm like, this man is blowing my mind. Like he is really, really talking to me. Like he's really, really pouring into me because I'm like all over the place. God, I want to do so much. And I don't know how to do it, but I want to do so much. And he's like, listen, just start here and walk. He's like,
Mm.
don't worry about nothing on the sides. Just walk this path that I'm putting you on. And sis, it's been
There
one
we go.
after another. And
I love it.
and I'm like, it's not me. You know, I'm telling, it's not me, y'all. Just not me doing this, y'all. I'm not, y'all. I didn't do this. I didn't ask for this. I didn't like, like y'all. I'm waking up and stuff is happening. Like
Mm.
2018, my life did a 360.
Mm-hmm.
I started school, college, okay, college, working, branding, writing, building.
Mm.
2018. We're in 2020. God told me in 2018, January 31st, 2020, your book has to be done, published, ready to mail out. It happened by January 31st. It happened. The first
I love it.
set of books went out the first week of February.
I love it. I love it.
Here we are in December. from February to December, and I've already reordered 5 times. And I'm already in the process of writing my book for 2021. So you say everything happens according to God's plan. It's not my plan. It's not your plan. It's according to God's plan. And I tell everybody, meeting Legacy BookBar was a part of God's plan. I had never heard of you. I never knew anything about you. And here I am scrolling on Facebook, and I just, boom, pop up, and I see this vibrant woman, and she's going, talking and moving. And I'm like, who is this woman? And what is she talking about? What? Wait, hold on. She said something about an author. And I'm tuned in. And I'm like, oh, I got to connect. Bad. So, I said what I said in the comments. And then when you reached out to me the next day, I'm like, okay, God, what are you up to? Because how she reach out to me that quick?
Because that don't never happen in Facebook world.
No, reach out to me that quick. And he said, absolutely, be quiet and just listen. And as you spoke, I'm feeling it in my heart.
And I was so nervous.
I'm feeling it in my heart. He's like, she don't even know how laid back you are. She don't even know how cool you are. She don't even know that you're ready to sign on the paper, and she can keep that spill. Because I was already in. I was in from the conversation the night before. I was like, I'm in. I'm locked in. Like, I don't care. It ain't even about the money. Like, I want to support her because this is a sister of mine. Mm-hmm. This woman is doing something that I know is beneficial and can help me, but can also help her and open the door for other authors that may come along behind me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, send me the paperwork. Let's do it. Done. Boom. We get it. Ship the books out. Here we go.
Here we go. And I think you've restocked twice with me.
Twice with
since
you.
March. Twice since with March. Me. Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. I ain't really caught on yet, but I see something. And then, I got these giraffe sisters, right? So, welcome to the Giraffe Sister Club. I forgot to tell you that.
Okay.
Sisters, right? And so my sisters are pouring into my cup, and they're like, hey, you carrying something that you don't even know you got. Like, you finna blow up. And I'm like, no. I'm trying to stay little. And they was like, sis, you can't. God has put you in the forefront. You're a leader. And I'm like, but I don't want to be in the forefront. Like, I want to be back here in the back with everybody. And I want to be that little author, they got this cute little book out. And nah, you got websites. You got people reaching out to you. You got people wanting you to come and speak. You finna start traveling. And I'm like, wait a minute. What? No, wait. Hold on. It's too much happening right now. And God said, but remember you told me, have your way. Have your way. He said, remember you told me that. Have my way. He said, so I'm having my way in you. And you gotta do. Yeah, you can't take nothing back.
No take back.
And I'm like, oh my God. So I tell people, listen, there's power in the tongue. You better know what you're speaking. And when you speak it, you better be ready to rock and roll because your words unlock. I mean, it's literally like a key. It will unlock doors. And if you're not ready for it, man, you're going to be messed up. In the world, you're going to be messed up.
Absolutely.
But what I love about this, especially this platform, is that so many people are drawn to me on Facebook through social media just by the title author. Okay. They come just by the title. And I can't even tell you how many people I've had in my DM like, man, can you help me? I'm trying to get my book written and I don't know where to start. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Because I can't write the book for you, but what you want me to do? Tell me what you need and I'm going to give it to you. So, I'm always feeding into people. If I see, an author who's just released a book and, they're trying to get the book, I'm tagging you. Bing, look, connect with Manina, get with Legacy BookBar because this platform is so big. I'm not jealous. it's room for all of us.
It's so much room at the table.
Man, do you hear me?
It
I
is
mean, like,
so much room.
the table is big. Like, I welcome anybody. If you're ready for this level, and this is what you desire in your heart, man, come sit at this table. Come sit down, because we're gonna pour into you. Even though we may not have somebody pouring into us, we're willing to pour into you because we believe in you. And we know that if God did it for us, he sure enough can do it for you.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm one of those type of people. I'm real about it. Like, I know how far getting here. I didn't have somebody paving the way for me. I didn't have somebody telling me the shortcuts to take and you know, how to go around this and how to go. I had to learn the hard way that I couldn't go through a publishing company. It was better for me to publish my own book because I would get my own royalties back. But I didn't have nobody sitting down telling me that. I had to figure all this stuff out, and boom, I did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I'm like,
yep, you sure. And look at you now. And I'm so glad you brought that up as far as, you know, the reasons behind self-publishing is being able to keep your royalties. So guests prior to today had, I think all but one, maybe two, were self-published, and they said that was their reasonings, is being able to have creative control over their work and also being able to keep their royalties. And then there were the two before that did the more traditional, and I understood why, because with owning your own business, and in this case being the self-published author and self-publishing, you have to be ready to market yourself at any given time. You have to be able to use social media, all of them, for at any given moment. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even YouTube. And you have to be ready to go. You have to be posting every day and multiple times a day. Marketing, you need your of course your books is the product, but the flyers, the bookmarks, like whatever you can do, getting to like a podcast like the Sip and Chat and others in your community, and finding those good communities for you on social media is so hard. And some people are like, just tell me where to go. I need to go to the city and state. I need to show up here. And then that's all they want to do. And I totally understand. I totally get that. If that's what you want to do, but let me tell you, you can miss out. Now, again, I am not an author, so I can't tell you which way to go. I can have you talk to a self-published author. I can have you talk to a traditionally published author. I can have you talk to an owner of a self-publishing company and an owner of a traditional publishing company. You have to make the determination on what works best for you. You know, but you know, when you are not responsible for your marketing, what could you be missing when someone else has the keys to your car?
A lot. A lot.
Absolutely.
And that was one of my biggest things, because I was like, okay, Lord, I'm not no rich chick, right? But I gotta brainstorm some stuff because everything happened so backwards. So 2012, I started my own marketing company, right? Listen, sis, I'm equipped with knowledge. I'm not using nothing that I'm just like staring at the wall like, man, what is going on? And God says, this is why I chose you, because you already have what it takes to be an author. You already know what you need to do to market yourself. I just need you to write this book and watch everything else flow. So when I wrote the book, I was already marketing myself on Facebook. But I had went and I created Instagram pages, Twitter pages, YouTube accounts. Like I had everything. I was putting it up. I'm one person. I can't do everything, right? And God said, just watch. Just watch how we work this. So I was making flyers, and I'm using little cheap software products or whatever, not nothing expensive. And God said, the money that you make off of your first book sales, I want you to go and I want you to invest in you. He said, and the reason why I want you to invest in you is because you have to understand you're going to have to spend money in order to make money. And it's what you spend that you're going to get back. So when I sold my first set of books, I took that money, I went and I got a little software program. So I'm creating flyers. I got all this stuff. Now it's out on social media. Then God says, now you need to start boosting it. I'm boosting. Now it's hitting. It's going all out. Everybody's coming now. I'm overwhelmed with friend requests. I'm like, man, I need a secretary because I can't keep up with all this stuff. And it's like boom, 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 boom. Book sales. What are you doing? What are you doing? What? Can we do a book signing? Can we do? And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. It's happening too fast. I'm moving too. I'm like, wait, no, I just want to sell this book. I don't want to.
Gotta be ready.
You got to be ready. Yeah, you can go out there and you can get you a PR. You can do all that. But let me tell you something. The money that I spent on myself was well worth it. It was worth it. And nobody got the credit to say, oh, well, I couldn't did this for her. If it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be on this platform. No, when you say that you want to become an author, you better be ready to do the legwork because it gets gangster in this industry.
And it was so funny. So the first guest we had Author Serendipity, Amanda Chambers on, and she owns Divine Legacy Publishing Companies, self-publishing, creative control with some flair to it is her mantra or motto for her publishing company. She's also my marketing manager.
Wow.
And surprisingly, she lives in a totally different state, but she grew up here in Baltimore. Her and I lived probably a mile away from each other until she moved away. Have similar interests, both book nerds, both just nerds, like weird stuff. Like if we would have met, we would probably be still best friends today. Like, right? Fast forward 30 years, and here not 30, about 15, 20 years actually. And we met by happenstance in a Facebook group. And I was like, I'm thinking about starting a bookstore. And I'm like, just what do you think? Like, does it make sense? Would you go to a bookstore if it was in your city or state? She sends me a DM. Again, reply to DMs, people. Hey, I would send me because I was doing a questionnaire. I'll fill out your questionnaire. By the way, I own a publishing company. So if you're looking for authors, I have some. What you mean you own a publishing? Who just owns a publishing company, right? What are you talking about? So we exchanged phone numbers. I bounced some ideas off of her head. I tabled it for a year. Came back. And I came back because I was like, all right, I'm really ready to get this off the ground. I got my tax ID number. Like, it's legit now. Like, once you give the state your money to say you got a business, like, what you gonna do with it, right? So I did all of that. And then I'm like, I need a website. I need a logo. I need this and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, we could do all of that for $5,000. Oh, we could do all of that for $7,500. Who mama got $7,500? Not this mama. I don't have that. No. So I went back, memory bank. I went back and I found her last message DM. And I was like, hey, I want to run something by you. Let me know when you're free. She was like, I'm free now. Call me. Okay, bet. Called her. I went through this whole rant. Like, And they want to tell me, and who got 75? Like literally about to be in tears in this conversation. She let me vent for 20 minutes. She was like, so are you done? I was like, what? She's like, are you done?
No, for real.
I was like, I think so. What? And she's like, first, fix your face. I have a certificate in social media and marketing and branding. You ain't about to pay nobody, no 75 of anybody's dollars. I'm going to get you everything you need. And I was like, and she's like, don't even worry about it. I got somebody, I own a publishing company. I have a graphic designer, illustrator. We're going to get you your logo. I got a website designer. Don't even worry about it. We're going to get your website design. In one phone call, I went from full-blown panic attack to everything laid out. I was like, so in our talks, in our meetings that we still have weekly, she legit, I remember her telling me that the book industry is so gangster. She's like, it's about as cutthroat as Death Row Records, the whole East Coast, West Coast 90s battle. Yeah. And I was like, no, but we selling books. This ain't records. She was like, no, sis. She was like, you in the book industry is like you trying to get to that NFL team. You're trying to get drafted. You want the coach to pick you up to get you that full score. Like she's giving me all these sports analogies because she knows I'm a huge sports fanatic. And I was like, ain't nobody banging like this over no books. Now, not to say that I thought she was lying. Right. It was me being naive. And so fast forward now, it's been a year. I've been in the book industry. And when I tell you this industry is crazy, that they legit banging over books. And I'm like, why are we acting like this? All of this room at the table, like I created the table. Why are we banging over books? There's no need for this. It's not what 32 teams in the NFL. It's only 53 spots. I'm like, that's not it.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's
like
crazy.
Readers are going to read. No matter, they have their favorite genre. Everyone has their favorite. But at the same time, they're still going to read a book.
Yep.
So we don't have to act like I can't extend the hand, the baton to get the next one. We don't have to act like that. Because all we're going to do is just keep running in that circle, passing the same baton, picking up the next book and the next author and the next book. And it's just a circle. We don't have to break the link, break the chain because you're trying to get on. Or I'm trying to get my nephew on. Okay, well, hold up, nephew. Wait a second. It's places here for you. Wait a minute. We're gonna get on the train together. Like everyone has a spot.
Yeah.
But this industry, it is not for the faint of heart.
It's not. And it's so real because someone said, why did I choose Legacy BookBar? And I said, it wasn't that I had a choice. I said, God chose her. And because I'm a part of God's plan, he prepared a place for me. I said, so it's like you have horror and you have romance, but then you have this Christian inspiration and I come in to balance. I said, so the table sits right now. You know, we like here now because we got one end here, one end there, and then you come with inspiration and everything is flowing.
I love it.
If you don't know where you belong, you don't know how to get to the table where you're supposed to be seated. See, I have high expectations for myself. Yeah, I tried to be a little known author, but God said you're outstanding, so I need you to stand out. I need you to be different. I don't need you to write a book like they write a book. I need you to write something that is gonna specifically stand out. And he used my story. He used my story. He said, because when people look at your picture on that cover, They're going to see this beautiful woman, and they're going to say the mess that gifted the messenger. I wonder what that's about. I wonder what that's about. And when you read it, you have no clue. You have no clue how you're going to feel after you read that book.
Absolutely.
Because it's just a balance.
No, it is. I agree. So we had your book club earlier this spring. Mm-hmm. Really good turnout. People, it was some tears, but happy tears. Yes. I still get some messages about it. Like, is she gonna come back? Of course, she's gonna come back. Absolutely. Of course. But what I have my personal favorite. But let's tell the people who haven't had a chance to purchase the book. What was your favorite part in writing this book, or favorite chapter in writing this book?
I don't really have a favorite chapter, because every chapter in the book is sentimental to me in some form or fashion. Mm-hmm. So being that it's a story about me, like every chapter, a piece of me came together to make the book. So to say if I liked one chapter over another, no, because it was all just pieces that I needed to eat. Like I needed it. I needed it because it was so broken on the inside of me that it couldn't come together on the outside. So there's no particular chapter. But I think what I love the most about the book is my testimony. Because I actually spoke that testimony in 2019. Okay. And that was the first time ever in life I had spoke on what I had been through in front of a room full of strangers. Like I didn't know from Man in the Moon. And I released so much toxic energy that had been dormant in me because I was ashamed to tell my story. And God said, this testimony just proved to you that you could write a book about what you've been through, and you could heal, and you would become one of the greatest writers yet to hit the face of this earth. And I'm like, but it's just one book. And he said, it's just one book now. But it's going to be 5 books later. It's going to be 10 more books after that. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, wait a minute. We're going too fast. Just wait, what? Wait, no, we're moving too fast. And he says, no. You are an author. You're a writer. This is the beginning and the end. You've started, but you have to finish. You have to. So I'm here just to tell people, start. If you're supposed to be a writer, whether you blind write for people, whether you fiction write stories, if you wake up and your passion is to write, start writing. Don't leave your assignment for somebody else to finish. If it's your story, write it. Write it. If you don't know,
you heard what she said. Write your story.
Get with an author that can write. We will get you in front of the people that can write the story for you, but get your story together and get it written.
Absolutely.
Stories need to be on the shelves. It's our time. It's our time to shine. And that's what we're doing. 2020 was the setup. 2021, that's the overflow.
Absolutely.
We're taking over.
Absolutely. So this past June, you were supposed to have your women's conference. Insert COVID. Did not happen. It is now going to be pushed till 2021. So tell us a little bit about what that conference is and what it's going to be about.
So, for those of you who don't know me, I am the CEO and founder of Sisterhood Through God's Plan Incorporated. We are a Christian nonprofit organization based out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. We currently have about, I think I want to say, probably about over 600 and maybe 8 women in our Facebook group. And we decided that we wanted to do our first annual banquet, conference, and fashion show, which was supposed to happen this year, but due to COVID, it got canceled. So we pushed it back to next year. But this is going to be an amazing, phenomenal, epic event. Let me tell you, these sisters that I'm connected to are the bomb. And I mean, Manina is one of them, y'all. Just let me put y'all on a little game. She act all bougie on this camera, y'all. But Manina is funny.
That's my radio voice.
Funny, man. Oh my God. I cannot wait to have all of us in the building together on the stage because it is going down in Forest Hill, Texas. Y'all, we gonna be in there stomping so hard Friday night and Saturday night that these folks are going to pay us to get out their building because we are about to turn up for God. Now, listen, I know people say, well, I don't want to come to this event if it's going to be, our church. Listen. We all come from different areas of life. It's some hood, some project, some way back in the gutter. We coming together to bring women, grown women together because there is this cliche that says women can't get along in the same room together. 2021, we breaking that. Women of all color, ages, sizes, backgrounds, whatever. We coming together and we are going to have an amazing time. I don't even want to spoil it and tell y'all what's happening. I'm just telling y'all want to be in the building for this one. It's going down. The platform is set up so nicely. Man, the empowering, just bringing different authors together, book signings. Like I'm telling people, like, listen, I want you to come to this conference and I want you to bring your books because I want you to sell your books at this conference. And they're like, well, it's your conference and you're an author. And why would you? It ain't about me. It's not about me. You are a child of the Most High. So it's about us. It's about us coming together. And it's about me telling people who you are to help you gain the exposure that you need in this industry because I want to introduce you to somebody that I know. And I want to introduce them to somebody that you know. It's networking. It's networking. Because you cannot stay in one place and become who you're supposed to be. You can't. It's not possible. Coming to this event, you're going to walk away with so much in a bag that you're not even going to know what to do with everything in that bag because it's going to be that packed with information. People who you need to connect with, how you need to connect with people, when you need to connect with them, why you need to connect with them, how. All that is going to be outlined by the end of the conference for everybody to walk away full for next year.
I'm so excited. I'm like still on pins and needles. I was so stoked to come June of this year. And I remember we were on the phone and like after you did everything for Legacy, 2 weeks later, you were like, all right, so what picture you want on the flyer? I'm like, picture on the flyer? What are you? Oh, she's serious. She really wanted me. She didn't just, she's serious. All right, let me send my little headshot over. Okay. And I said, what you mean speak? And then she said, so I want you to be on the panel. I'm like, to do what? She's like, you're going to speak. About what? Like, girl, I just own a bookstore. What you talking about? Like, no, this ain't, no. She's like, no, you're going to speak. I'm like, child, you want all this craziness on your panel? Okay.
Listen, I'm talking about
you're going to get all this.
You got to see like the way that the God has shown this to me is like, it's like a red table event. And you got all these bosses sitting at the round table, but you got a microphone going through the audience of 300 to 400 women. And they're asking questions. The one question, how do we get our book on your shelf? I can't answer that question for you. You got to be at the table. You got to be sitting there. I can't. That ain't my forte.
That means I'm gonna be on the plane to Fort Worth in a few months from now.
Listen, so many people doubted what God could do for me in my life, and I am a living testimony, and I want to be an example for women. I don't care what it is you go through. I don't care what it is you've been through. Your walk is everything. Mm-hmm. Who you see in the mirror. Mind you, this is the name of our conference. Who's in the mirror? Who you see in the mirror is who you are. But if you don't see you in that mirror, we got to help find you. We got to help because it's a problem. It's a problem. You're not supposed to be nobody but you at all times. And I learned that through this book. I have to be me.
Oh boy, this conference, guys, is going to be epic. It's going to be powerful. We're going to need an awful lot of tissues at this conference. Oh, yeah. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for just to be a participant, not even necessarily speaking at it. I just can't wait to be embraced and be a part and amongst some very powerful women. I cannot wait. Our flyer is on my website. The website is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's www.legacybookbar.com. We're going to go really quickly to some comments section. I did tell everyone that you can purchase this book today and, of course, throughout the weeks and coming year. But today you can get 10% off with the shop code pop-up. Every week that we do our sip and chats and when we do our virtual and in-person pop-ups here in Baltimore, there is always a shop code that will be posted and it will always be pop-up. So the guest of honor for that coming week, you'll be able to get 10% off of their book when you purchase that day. So we have Karen McDowell, my mom, who says, Black Girls Networking, love it. We have Tara Booth that said Brandi is a strong woman. I concur. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We have Tisha Nelon. There you go. Yes. She said blessings. We also have Karen that says, y'all are making me cry. I know. I almost shed a tear a little bit too. I had to remember I had makeup on today and I couldn't cry. It was great. I also posted Sisterhood Through God's Plan, Inc. in Fort Worth, Texas. If you want to follow that particular page, you can do that via Facebook. That is the name of the page. Sisterhood Through God's Plan, Inc. is on Facebook. Go like and follow now. Tara Booth said it will be epic, speaking on the conference, Who's in the Mirror. And then also Karen said the conference is going to be awesome. Absolutely. So, Miss Brandi, I've had you here with me for an hour. It has been amazing. So, you have had an amazing trials, tribulations. You have had a very roller coaster journey through life. Yeah. Let's fast forward 20 years, 25 years, and you have that opportunity to look back over everything that you have done in your life. Mm-hmm. You will sit back and you will say to yourself, what do you want your legacy to be? I want you to answer that question for me.
Wow. I want my legacy to be a game changer.
Mm.
And I wanted to be a game changer for all the women who are surviving domestic violence, cancer, who have been told they would never be nothing in life,
Mm.
who people laughed at and walked away from. I want my legacy to be a platform for women to take a stand, to know that they are loved, that they are respected, and that they are queens no matter what. Nobody has the right to kill your dreams. Live above your limits. Go. Go as far as you can go in life and do as much as you can do in life and be happy with what you do. And don't let what you don't do be discouraging. Push yourself. Push yourself to the limit. Go, just mash the gas and just go. Because the legacy that I'm leaving behind is breaking generational curses for my family. This, my children, my children's children, my children's children's children, they will be able to take on everything that I am building from the ground up now. They will not ever have to ask anybody for a dime because they will be good. And this is what living this life is about. Making sure that when your time up here is done, that they can carry on the torch that you left behind just as well as my parents did for me and my siblings. So that's my legacy, man. I just want to be the shero of my family to break the generational curses, because people casted me out. People laughed at me. They told me I wouldn't even get this far. And it's so humble just to be here. But I tell God, for every person that spoke my name out in the atmosphere, God, I ask that you bless them 100-fold. Bless them. Reward their hearts diligently, because they didn't know what they were speaking into the atmosphere. But y'all did it. Your girl is here. I'm making it. I'm on my way. And we about to take over. So that's the legacy. Seeds. Leave your seeds so people can grow and blossom, man. Just leave your seeds.
I love it. I love asking that question, because I love to hear the responses from my guest every week. Thank you so much for being here. I think your daughter came in, Brianna Pyburn, and she said, "Hey, mama, that's my mama, y'all." Yes, that is your mama and all her fabulousness. Yes, indeed. Brandi, thank you so much for being a part of the Sip and Chat this week. Again, for those that have not purchased and watched this amazing episode of the Sip and Chat, and you want to get this amazing book, you can go to www.legacybookbar.com, purchase this book today as well as other books, and get 10% off of your orders today. I am still shipping out, so you have a little bit of time left if you want this for a great Christmas present, or you want this so you can start 2021 on a great and positive foot. Stay with me a little bit, Brandi. I'm going to mute you, but stay tuned. We got a little bit more information to share with our guest here at the Sip and Chat. So that was an amazing episode we just had. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. So for those that do not know, Legacy Book Bar now has a YouTube channel. So by midnight tonight, or I guess midnight tomorrow, whatever, midnight is coming. This episode will be on the YouTube channel called Legacy Book Bar. So if you have family or friends that do not use social media, do not have Facebook, or they only have Instagram, they will be able to watch this episode and all the other episodes prior on our Legacy Book Bar YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that channel, because we want that to be amazing. And then you'll be able to see all of the amazing authors that were on prior to Miss Brandi All of them are amazing. All of them are talented, and you never know. They might have dropped some nuggets for you. And if you didn't follow Legacy Book Bar November 1st for our 1-year anniversary, we had the Legacy Book Bar Book Summit, and we had 15 authors. We were here for 3.5 hours that day. And we talked to 15 authors and 3 publishing companies on this. And they dropped so much knowledge, so much power, positivity. It was great. So you're going to want to check that out. If you know an author, if you are an aspiring author, that's definitely an episode that you are going to want to watch. So everyone knows that I typically am at the mall here in White Marsh, Maryland. Unfortunately for December, I will not be able to be a part of the pop-ups in this month due to the rising numbers of COVID. The number here in Maryland is sky high, and I don't want to get anyone else sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't want my family to get sick. We have to remain being safe. So what I will do is, instead of being out in person, we are going to do virtual pop-ups. We are going to have some fun. We're going to be here virtual. So tomorrow evening at 5:00 p.m. on the Legacy Book Bar page, you are going to want to be here for our virtual pop-ups. We are going to have some fun. Maybe we'll try to get an author or two on the pop-up, but unfortunately, yes, Miss Brianna, people are not wearing their masks. They're not sanitizing. They're just not being safe. And I still want people. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I get COVID or a family member close to me gets COVID. I have 3 kids, a husband, myself. It's not a good look out here right now. So we are going to still get those books out. As long as the post office don't close, books are still shipping out. But we're just going to start doing it virtually now until these numbers can start going down and I can get back out to the mall. Never fear, though. Today, I brought around a few books for you guys to kind of see that I'm going to have on the virtual pop-up tomorrow. So, of course, we're going to have Miss Brandi's book, The Mess That Gifted the Messenger. That will be available. You can still purchase today or you can wait till tomorrow. But who wants to wait for tomorrow when you can get it today? And I want to say all of her books are signed. So, and they got book covers. That's amazing. So you're going to want to get her book ASAP. Keeping with that theme, we also have Miss Prophetess Linda Scott, When Seasons Change. Next week on the Sip and Chat, we're going to have author Simone Miller with The Life and Legacy of Lear Green. You'll be able to purchase this book tomorrow, and then also you'll be able to purchase her book on her episode of the Sip and Chat as well. And don't forget, you can use that shop code #POPUP and get 10% off. We're going to veer over a little bit to urban fiction. We have The Commandments of a Female Hustler. Books 1, 2, and 3 are available on the website, so you'll be able to purchase that. If you know anyone or yourself that loves those street lit books, so you're going to want to get that. We also have Concrete King. If you remember, Concrete King was one of our virtual book clubs. This book will be available as well. You can use those hashtags, pop-up shops, and get that 10% off. We're going to go a little bit further over. We're going to get that short story, Erotica, The Exploration of Her by Michelle Warren. You're going to want to get this, spice up the end of 2020. Actually, I think 2020 is already spicy. Maybe we want to do some spiciness in 2021. But you'll also be able to get this book. This is a really, really good book. I met this author in North Carolina last year. And when I tell you she is as spicy as the words in this book, you are going to want to get this. And this is by Michelle Warren, who also was a guest here on the Sip and Chat about a few weeks ago. So you're going to want to get that book. Now, remember earlier in the episode, in this video, we talked about some of the Black-owned self-publishing companies that Legacy Book Bar is affiliated with. So we always talk about Divine Legacy Publishing, but tonight I want to talk about Mocha Memoirs Press. That's owned and operated by Nicole Kurtz. Now, Nicole, her book company runs more on the traditional publishing side. So if you're looking to be a part of that book publishing company and you want to do the more traditional route and you write under the fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal, horror, that's a publishing company you might want to take a look into. One of her books that we have in the store is The Devourer, a Minister Night novel. We have volumes 1 and volume 2 here. You can get this at www.legacybookbar.com and use those shop codes and get 10% off. We also have from Mocha Memoirs Press short stories, They're Grotesquerie, also in horror. So if you like a really good horror story, I know quite a few people that love horror stories right around the Christmas time. Hey, that's their thing. I love it. They love it. Why not? You want to now listen to this trifecta of amazingness, right? Nicole Kurtz, Black woman, owns Mocha Memoirs Press, has 5 of her authors' books in my Black-owned bookstore. Their authors are also, guess what? Black. Trifecta. It's amazing. Why not? So here's another book you can also get from Mocha Memoirs Press. And then we have Black Magic Woman, a series of horror short stories by Black women talking about Black characters in guess what genre? Horror. It's amazing. We'll have more of her stories. We're going to talk more about her books as well as some of the others that are sold by Legacy Book Bar tomorrow at 5 o'clock here on our Legacy Book Bar page. Thank you so much for being a part of the Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. Remember, be back here next Friday as we talk to author Simone Miller of The Life and Legacy of Leah Green. You guys were fabulous today. Thank you so much. Miss Brandi, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Stay safe out there in these COVID streets. Wear your mask, people. If you do not have to go outside, do not go outside, okay? Don't do it. It is not safe right now. Let's get these numbers down, okay? There is no vaccine right now. There is no cure right now. So right now, staying safe, staying inside is what's going to save us. You know, we are already at 250,000 plus deaths due to COVID in the United States. We really don't want to see those numbers double. So please, 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 please be safe. Keep your neighbors safe. And let's end this year somewhat on a positive note amongst all the craziness of this global pandemic. Miss Brianna, I will make sure your mama sends you a book in your stocking with your bookmark. Absolutely. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being a part of the Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. I will see you next week. Bye, guys.